Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of the Multi Archives. Time has really flied, to be honest. Me and
Yes,
Streamline, as
sir.
per usual, have been doing this every week. And our guest this week, the homie, the one and only Steezah Sama. How you doing, Steezah?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Pretty good,
Pretty
pretty
good.
good.
How are you feeling, Streamline? Episode 4 already is kind of nuts.
I know, right? It's already been four. It's already been a month. It's already
For
been
real,
one month.
since we started.
Yeah, things are moving fast, man. I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, and big reason why we Steezah was definitely one of the guests we wanted to get on early, but they lined up actually perfect because he hosted his first offline multiverses tournament this week. I believe it happened on Saturday, so 6 days ago now. Definitely something
Yes,
we're gonna be
sir.
covering. Very stacked. Steven Universe took it home as well, at least in ones and twos actually.
Yes, he did. Big Light
Yeah.
was came through and did some dirty work at that land for real.
Mm-hmm. He showed a lot of what the character can do. He has been kind of the main character rep, I would say, for a lot of the game. And definitely has a very solid argument for the best Steven in the world in ones and twos. Which
For
was
sure.
very cool to see. Him taking the whole ones bracket. Definitely a really, really entertaining tournament. Me and Streamline also competed. Steezah, you commentated. Uh, Great job commentating as always. Always
Thank
providing
you.
some funny
Thank
stuff on
you.
the mic. Um, yeah. What were your takeaways? I guess Streamline from that tournament. What did you what stood out to you?
First things first. The host was amazing. Steezah was really
True.
good. He
Oh,
was really
True.
good. He kept the energy up the whole time. Oh, I watched it back. Honestly, like genuinely, like really fucking good. It was actually really good
It's a long
commentary,
day.
really good hosting, really well organized as well.
Hmm.
I liked it a lot. Competition was there.
it
Holy crap,
definitely
competition
was.
was there.
Yeah.
Like there was like a I think like there were like I swear to God, almost everybody played a different character.
Hmm.
Also, which was ironic. Everyone was playing something different. There was not like multiple of the same thing.
Yeah,
If that
for
makes sense.
sure. Definitely. I think that kind of says a lot about the state of the balance right now in multiverses in ones and twos actually is the variety across the board. um there's not a lot of repeat characters. Like, you do see some here and there, but overall, like, considering even how small the character list is, like, there's been a wide variety, which is awesome to see. Steezah, what kind of stood out to you as you were commentating just about the whole tournament, whether it's players, characters, any matches in particular, even?
Honestly, well, first of all, shout out to Ajax for helping me out with the seating as well, because when we were sitting in the back and we are looking at all the players that came, it was like, wow, it's really stacked here. So like
Hmm.
putting together the seating and seeing like how there were still some upsets just in like the first two rounds. We're like, wow, like people really came and compete, and there was a lot of different teams, not the same archetypes of teams that we used to see at old lands like LTC or Evo. But you know, a lot of different team comps, a lot of different people coming out from Mass, CT, Jersey, New York. Like we had a lot of people from the tri-state really coming to prove themselves at this land, and it was really, really interesting. It got really hot, and I'm glad that it did because we had some unorthodox characters that haven't really showed up in top twos in a while. You know, minus the same person, Light Wisp, you know, at LTC. So it was good to see that, you know.
Yeah, I think Bugs and Key were definitely the favorite to take it home, deservedly so. They've proven themselves a number of times, have some insane team chemistry, and play two really top tier characters. But somehow, Light Wisp and Dex Chata took them out. The Finn and
No,
Steven.
Wait.
Gusta,
Or Gusta,
yeah,
sorry. I don't know why I always get Dex and Gusta confused because they teamed in the past. Thank you for correcting me.
yeah, they did team in the past, yeah, big
Gusta
time.
with the Finn and Steven taking it home, which, like, Finn and Steven, I would think is not a lot of not the team a lot of people would expect to win twos necessarily. There's a lot of
No,
demons right
absolutely
now.
not.
There's Wonder Woman and Stripe, obviously, with Key and Bugsby, but then Morty's like really, really good in twos right now, but we didn't really see much of that. Even Rain Dog, like another support character. So that was really interesting seeing Gusta come with the Finn, and him and Lightwest played absolutely incredible. They took me and Streamline
Insane.
out. Um, in losers side, clean 3-0, and we honestly were kind of lost for answers, to be honest.
Yeah, they went really crazy, dude. I watched
They
it back.
did.
They went really crazy. Their ladders were on point.
Lightweight is a different character, man, for real.
Yeah.
There's Steven and then there's Light Wisp Steven.
Mhm.
That's how it feels.
Absolutely.
He is
That's how
kind
it
of just
feels.
a level above the rest, and you could tell he just. I mean, there's a reason he obviously teams with Sandstorm when he can, and that level of practice helps. But even without Sandstorm, being able to get a dub in twos and ones is kind of insane. I don't know if Gusta and Lightwisp have teamed before or in any tournaments, but either way, they looked very, very good.
All right. Shout out to Bugs V and Key Wonder for taking them to Game Five. And they were at a really, really intense Game Five.
Mm-hmm.
On Sky Plats, this was one of the more intense games that Light was definitely showed out.
Yeah, yeah. Props to them for sure. A stat bracket and twos, and moving on to ones. The first thing that stood out to me was FGC Doom coming in with the Taz. He played Gopo round one, got unlucky because that was his first offline, and he took Gopo to last stock, last take, game three, and had almost the whole venue standing there watching on the side. Sadly, it was not on stream, but everyone got up and was just watching quietly, and like you could just feel the tension in the air if Gopo would lose round one, and especially like to a Taz, like a character that none of us would really expect, right? To do that. So that was absolutely insane to see. That was something that really, really shocked me. He got a very unlucky bracket. Gopo round one into Streamline round two. That's like two of the best players in any venue in this game. That was his round one. That was 1-2.
That just goes to show you how stacked the bracket was. Like it's so hard to see stuff like that. And then having a surprise like Doom, especially, pull up and really almost upset some people at his first line. So shouts out to Doom, bro. He really showing out for
For
Taz.
sure. Yeah, and I think we could definitely talk about Taz as well. Streamline, I'll let you kind of take that over. Taz definitely got some changes in the most recent patch, mainly just his up air and his up tilt, I believe, connecting more consistently, which was always his big weakness. Always when we had Ova on, that was the main thing he talked about wanting to get fixed, was up tilt having a hurt box and not connecting consistently, and now it does, and holy, this character is something. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all I'm gonna say is, right, for me the issue wasn't just up to it was that all his moves were not the most, like, were too honest, right?
mm-hmm.
Now go full circle because they did exactly what I said, right? I haven't just felt it on up tilt and up air, side air, down air, whatever. Any move you want to say got better. Salt shaker, the jab, that got better. Even down tilt got better. All the moves got better. So now everything changes for me. That character is immediately S tier. This is Taz fully functioning.
That is
This is Taz
crazy.
fully functioning. I think Taz in 1v1s is unironically reaching. No, I'm just gonna say top ten characters in ones. Top
That is
10.
crazy considering Taz was one of the low tiers for the longest time. It felt like, right?
A long
Yep.
time.
Another character we put down there as well, Garnet, has been on the up and up as well. We didn't see
Oh
any
yes.
Oh yeah.
at the tournament, but Garnet as well. I've been seeing a lot more of her from some good players. Skizzy has really been showing me personally what the character can do. Um, Character has a lot of stuff. Not like up at the upper echelon quite yet, but like can definitely make waves and can definitely win. I think in the meta.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like looking at the characters too. There's some more stuff like Harley Quinn kind of is always there.
And now
She's
she's
always
really
there,
there.
but like
Yeah,
now she's like top three.
Undisputably, yeah. Like her
She's
moves are
like top
way
three.
more consistent. So they land better. She has a lot more combo game. Her slide seems better than Batman's right now, but that's not my business.
Yeah, it's seeming better than Batman's. It's seeming way better because like right, a character like Batman, right, is neutral, is good, right, but he doesn't get too much unless you DI wrong or something like that, right? But
hmm
Harley Quinn will catch you with the same amount of ease as Batman down tilt and do 60 to 80 damage each
Off one
time
interaction,
off
yeah.
one interaction, which this is like 2003 multiverses infinite. As soon as you get one hit, make one mistake, GG. Like that's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
OG Bugs Loop, that's how it's feeling.
Like
And yeah,
it's
Superman is another
like
one.
it's looking like this right here. You feel me? It's looking like it's pushing money right now. Like that's what it's looking like. It's looking like the
but
money maker character.
it's
Like
funny too though, because like a character like Harley, you would like everyone agrees how good she is, but yet it seems like we have not had the player to take her to that level. Um,
literally,
in ones and maybe just a lack of twos tournaments and to be fair there's not many tournaments right now. It's limited to a lot of the East Coast. But I'm very curious when we'll start seeing like a Harley player really make some noise because I think we can all agree it's only a matter of time.
it is only a matter
Yeah,
of
I was
time.
about to say, Girthquake is a Harley player. He's won some ones tourneys in the recent past.
Mm-hmm.
We have good Harley players like Meow Mix and Tymere, Girthquake,
True.
um, a few others. But yeah, like you said, been a lack of ones tourneys, but definitely, I think we'd see some of those guys, some of those names soon. And they're also on the East Coast. I can't really think of any West Coast Harleys off the top of my head, but
Definitely some good ones out there though. You're right. Some notable names that you listed off of. Just none happened to be at least at the offline tournaments, but plenty
for
are
sure,
these absolutely ruining ladder and ruining some online tournaments as well. What else would you guys say stood out in the ones bracket? Obviously, I think it was shocking that we have to talk about Gopo having his lowest performance yet, coming in fifth place,
oh
along with
yes,
me. Finally showing that he is human. I think it's crazy just thinking about the fact that this is the first time he's not gotten first or second, um, at a LAN, I believe, that he's been to.
Apex. Apex is the only one I can think of.
Well, Gopo got
Like
second
he
though.
lost.
I'm saying he's never
Oh,
gotten worse than second,
oh, sorry.
which
Yeah,
is an incredible, honestly, really, with how many
yeah, it's
he's
kind
been
of
to.
crazy.
Um, so that was definitely surprising. He struggled. It just shows the amount of talent. Like fighting against Doom round one is not like that. That takes a bit out of you when you're not expecting to have much trouble with your round one.
right
Um,
as the last seed. But granted, Gopo hasn't been playing as much, and that is one thing I feel like was a unspoken success about the tourney is that it definitely inspires some players to go practice more and play more and go perform offline better because Gopo knows that he can definitely perform as he's done before. And
yeah.
I'm glad to see, like, if you saw his Twitter posts and stuff like that, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get back in the game and do some more scrims and whatnot because he was frustrated. And that is a competitive spirit, because he still wants to win. And that's
Mm-hmm.
good.
Agreed. Steezah, I think. Do you have a player that stood out that was your favorite to commentate throughout the tournament?
Honestly, that's a good question. Well, for you, it's usually you when I like to watch you in your environmentalist ways with the Meeseeks. And definitely always watching Key Wonder and Lightwist being a new person that I've seen offline was definitely a new and entertaining experience for me to cast and commentate on. Specifically because there aren't that many Stevens, or if there are any Stevens except from him
Mm-hmm.
offline. So seeing the amount of routes that he can cover with Steven Bomb up there and just like the raw fundamentals coming out from a support character in ones and twos and performing very well, it was very entertaining to watch and analyze that from the backseat.
Yeah, especially a character like Steven that you don't see often, and like getting the best of the best in Light Wisp was definitely really interesting. Steven, I think, has is one of the more unique characters in the game with a higher skill ceiling, and you're seeing like kind of really what the character is capable of. A lot more unique combo routes than a lot of the cast, which I like, and I hope more of the cast gets that type of stuff. Um, the only thing that frustrated me personally was how early he can just absolutely rob your stocks. That
Oh
character,
yes.
ooh, a couple of up airs and an up special, and or a rose bomb, and you are just dead. Oh my god.
Be careful with that dodge meter, man.
Oh yeah. Watching
Be careful.
Gopo and Light Wisp in particular fight and seeing both of them just like absolutely blow up a stock in an instant was kind of crazy. Like back and forth. I think like the first game Light Wisp blew Gopo up, and the second game Gopo blew him up right back, and like it was just it was insane gameplay.
It was actually back and forth like the whole way through, man. It's just who's gonna be able to hold it in, who's gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
stay calm.
And keep
I
that
was came out
mental
on
to
top
win.
there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
but
in a very bad matchup. And yeah, the VODs for the tournament also will be posted soon. I am getting in the works with Ajax to put on his YouTube, but eventually, since I'm hosting more offline tournaments, I will start my own YouTube where I will have all of the videos. And currently, if you want to watch it now, it's still on my page to go watch, but you would have to skim through all 10 hours of the whole thing.
you can fast forward through that VOD, check out whatever matches you want. Like we've talked about, there are a
Yeah.
number of really good sets in there, so I definitely recommend it. I was watching some this morning actually to remind myself kind of how the tournament went, and seeing some of the sets I even missed, whether it's like Streamline and Key Wonder, and then Key Wonder versus Paradox. Some really good ones. I think we got to talk about Key Wonder as well because I am just
Oh,
I would say
definitely.
he is my favorite player to watch personally. It just seems like he plays like so. Oh, it almost seems like perfect. He's constantly in control, controlling the pace, like setting you up for certain stuff, measuring you out with the whip. Um, and it's just insane to watch him making a character like Wonder Woman that can be kind of like straightforward in a way, but the way he plays her is just unreal.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like Key Wonder makes Wonder Woman look like a fighting game character to the fullest rather than how others would say, a multiverses character. He plays this game to the truest fighting game extent that he can. Uses his fundamentals with footsies and conditioning, all types of things to throw some players off who are not necessarily familiar with other platform fighters and how to develop fundamental skills in platform fighters in general, and uses that to his advantage to adapt. And that is one of the biggest things that create a competitive player is how to adapt quickly and how to adapt calmly in order to win.
Can't say it better than that, man. That was perfect. That was actually
Hey
Honestly,
man,
perfect.
I do
the
this podcast and stuff.
honestly the conditioning as well from him is something that I'm always impressed with. The way he just controls you in a way, and something that we were practicing a lot, and he was trying to kind of teach me. He just is so good at controlling your positioning. Will do such subtle things, like when rewatching the set where he'll throw a whip high to get you like conditioned to not jump, and then instantly he'll throw out an attack, put you in a bad spot, and he knows you don't want to jump because he just conditioned you not to jump, and then just call you out and hit you with the down smash. Like it's insane how good his fundamentals are in 1v1s and obviously 2v2s with Bugsy. Um, I also think Wonder Woman is a character that is one of the more balanced characters in the cast right now. Really, really strong and takes a lot of fundamentals to play her. Like she doesn't have anything that's too overwhelming. Definitely an example of a pretty balanced top tier, I would say. Another character that's I would say the opposite of that right now is Superman, a top tier that feels unhealthy as opposed to Wonder Woman, which feels healthy. Superman got some buffs obviously in the last patch, and now is in a very, very strong spot when he is working correctly. Sadly, there are some bugs that make him not work correctly all the time offline that we experienced in Gotham Knights on Tuesday. But aside from that, Superman feels very, very strong and very dominant online. What do you guys think could kind of help out the character to make him feel better and healthier?
Um, I feel like these 2D hitboxes for Superman in a way were more of a buff that the devs considered. Solely because, like, yes, since there's no Z axis with these punches anymore, it's okay. It won't hit you from like above, but behind is still an issue since his character's size is so big. So when he throws out those moves now, it hits you a lot more from behind, and that's more just a hitbox issue in general. But now that it's more linear, horizontal, whether it hits you from behind or not, he can still true combo you, and that's what makes it a little cheesy. And that's pretty much it because all the other cheese that he's had, with laser and the grab, that's always been there, and that's all things that at this point in the game, if you really play this game and want to continue playing it, you got to respect Superman in certain places and understand how to like not lose your advantage when he's in disadvantage because that's what he's good at, you know. So I don't think that he deserves to be like gutted, but there's definitely just some fine tuning that all characters need, in general, that he could definitely use. That would make him a little more contestable in situations that you would want him to be.
Good point.
I agree. I agree a lot with that. Actually, like honestly, like going off of that, I'm gonna start off by saying, right, no matter how much they try to change Superman, he's never gonna be healthy exactly because of the way
Right.
he was designed. But like again, I think they need to, even though right 2D is a step in the right place, if you don't tune down the hitboxes in certain spots, it'll end up being more broken, right, than it was when it was 3D. Um, but also I think something else that would help with dealing with Superman, right? Because as we all know, he has the best dodge in the game. Um, is removing invulnerability while you're attacking during a dodge, especially with Superman or Arya, like
Oh
it
yeah.
lingers all the way through. So like I think what they have to do is change the game fundamentally. And I think that'll help a lot because a lot of Supermans decide to just dodge jab, right? And there's not quite literally anything you can do about it unless they run out of dodge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what
Yeah.
I think.
That dodge distance is far, man. Especially with a short hop, he can approach you quite literally instantly, and it's kind of unreactable. And even if he misspaces it, back to my point about it hitting kind of from behind you, it doesn't matter because he can still follow up. So
Quite
Yeah,
that's the
literally.
issue. That's the big issue, honestly.
the fact that he's like the heaviest or the second heaviest behind Iron Giant and like the fastest because of his dodge is kind of nuts. I would personally just like obviously the hitbox is definitely we can all agree on that. I would like them to really fine tune the grab hitbox on the side special and up special because they
You
feel
make it
almost
more hand like, not like
yes,
body like.
a hundred
Like I feel
percent.
like he's
Like
grabbing me with his body rather than his hand. When he
Yeah. Dude,
it
what they
feels like
did to
more of a hug.
Batman, what they did to Batman down air is a good example of what they need to do to certain moves. Like
hmm
they made his down air like literally only hit from like Batman's knee down to his foot.
yeah, it's way healthier now.
Like it's way healthier for the game, but it's still good. That's the point.
Yes, it's not. It's still a criminal move, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
That thing used
hmm
to
And it's a
hit from
step in the right direction
unholy
for
areas,
sure.
man.
I just get
Holy
super
crap.
frustrated when Superman is flying across the sky and then I jump over him and go to down air him, and all of a sudden I end up in his hands, even though I'm literally above him.
Yeah,
So I
literally,
would love,
it's
Um,
please make that a
One
little
more
more consistent.
character.
there's
What
actually
character?
something
One
else
more character.
I wanted to mention about Superman.
Go
How
ahead.
many of you are familiar with the edge dash or like the edge jump? Oh, you guys aware about that?
Oh yeah, like you can kind of do it with the Batman tech. Like, wait, sliding down? It's kind of similar with dodge tech with Superman on the edge,
So like you literally dash from on the stage and then you jump. It's still a dodge jump, right? But like you're gonna jump when you're not when the ground isn't under you, and it basically like launches you flying across the side of the map, right? And the reason this is good on Superman is because 1 second you're here on the platform, right? You're right here. The next second you are gone and you're about to cider him in literally a millisecond across the map.
Yep.
So like that's something else, right? Like I was saying, right? Like not Batman, sorry. Superman's dodge is very scary because it enables a lot of things that are crazy and very hard to
Hmm.
react.
Agreed.
For sure.
So what character
And
you
then
want to talk about as well? Steezah?
let's not forget the new buff to Morty. Morty is a very, very disruptive character right now. His
It's a nice way to say
Morty.
it.
his axe is very dangerous right now. I don't know what exactly they did to it, why it's like that right now, why his fist hits you from so far. His hammer is not as bad as it used to be, but that axe is very, very, very disruptive right now, and is not okay.
I get
But
PTSD. I
Massive.
get shivers. I get shivers just thinking
Sarah
about it,
one
man.
and two. I'm talking about the Sarah one and two. That axe is. That's why I just said the axe, man. That axe when it
The
comes out,
axe.
it does something, and it does something very good.
The axe and that big arm, bro. The big arm when he
Yeah,
swings it down. Oh my
that big
god.
muscular arm, bro. I don't
Hmm.
understand it.
That's funny
Oh.
because they just kind of overtuned it. It went from the axe being super inconsistent and like sometimes hitting, sometimes not. And especially I've heard so many times of Morty's complain about trying to hit their grenades and the axe just goes right through it. And now they
Yeah,
overtuned a little bit, so hopefully
and
we can
now it
get
hits
that.
everywhere. Yeah,
It does hit everywhere. It hits pretty much everywhere.
places that
So
it's not. Yeah. The thing is that Morty. I feel like this is something that nobody is like. I guess said out loud. Morty is kind of like, especially the way his playstyle is in ones. It's like a Batman in a way that he can win neutral with a projectile and do a lot of combos off of that and cover a lot of options with projectiles and moves. So if you are good at that and understand that as a Morty, like with the hitboxes that you have, like I said, you're very disruptive and it's very hard to get in and figure out what to do
hmm.
because that neutral game is kind of unhealthy. A
So
neutral game that can combo off projectiles is not really good, but yeah.
how do we think we can rebalance the character and put him in a good spot? Because I feel like that's a tough task right now with how he is.
Well, just fix the
Instead of
axe.
listening to chat, which are just saying delete
Right.
Morty.
Just gotta
Let's try
fix
and
the
balance the
axe.
character.
And the blaster off cooldown that can like put you in hit stun. I think they have to do something about that. Something about that is just not normal. But other than the blaster and his axe, I can add more with one down there and actually make the visual hitbox of up there correct, as they said they did, but not really. And that's pretty much it. I'm okay with everything else, and I guess revert the healing that you said you took off, and that doesn't bother me that much. But it's just it doesn't make sense to me that you said you took it off. Now it's back, and it just but that's fine.
That just
Seems
makes
like
sense to me.
chat
Yeah.
has come to a conclusion of making him basically not a complete all arounder with almost no
Bruising
weaknesses,
support
which
magician, absolutely.
fair. And I'm
Yeah,
curious. It
like armored
seems like
teleport, UFO, grenades, blasters to win neutral, axe that can hit you from everywhere, up air that does ignite, weaken stack side special that he can cancel out of. He has a lot of
Rain
things
Dog
that
Tether, but
a lot.
better.
Oh yeah, and it has an active hitbox if
Bro
you try
also has
to test it.
grenades for some reason. Yeah, there's definitely a
So
lot. So I think they got to pick a playstyle Morty should actually play instead of being able to cover
yeah,
everything.
He's a
But
better
if
Batman. I'm
yeah.
telling you. I don't think people have like thought about that. He's a better Batman right now. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
It seems
That
like
blaster is battering.
PFG's almost unsure of what they want Morty to be. Because they've given him so many different things, whether it's the grenades, which are all insane and could be like a kit on its own, but then they also gave him a tether for some reason. They also gave him a really good combo game, and they also gave him lasers. So I feel like they got to pick a lane and stick to it and let him actually
Yeah,
have a playstyle instead of just being doing everything
but
really well.
that's I guess to address chat, it's not the thing about complaining without learning. Because let's be for real, there hasn't been any Mortys that has placed other than house arrest and like any tourneys, and then I guess Wavy at
Facts.
um Zeddy back when it was Zeddy,
And he
and
mostly
he
opts
wasn't who
for
he is
Finn.
right now. And Threesimo, yeah. But other than that, there hasn't been that many Mortys like placing in things that are like insane. And the latter, it's just annoying to deal with, you know? Like you have too much things and you're a character that's like, I guess too strong, especially in twos, but there's not that many of them performing in ways that Velma's used to, if that's what you're trying to get at, I
True.
guess. So
I
yeah.
think Velma's actually in a good spot right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think the changes she got were very good. I'm happy with
Hot take, I think she's in a
Velma.
bad spot. I
Really?
think she's not. I think she's in a bad spot. I think they like. Yes, she's been a very oppressive character for a while, but I think I think they did just a little too much, just a little bit, like
That's
just a little
fair.
bit. Like
I'd still think
they
they
could
should
have,
give her some time to sit at least
yeah,
though after the most recent changes. You think she's underpowered now though?
for sure. Like beam length, I think they could have kept if they were going to nerf camera, or if they were going to nerf camera, or if they were going to nerf beam length, keep camera, or vice versa. Like, her moves now are a little too honest because now that she has no combos off it down there for real. I mean, she doesn't really need combos. I'm not gonna say that. She still has strong hitboxes and stuff like that, but especially as a ones character, it's not up there unless you do
Well, she shouldn't be though. I think
weird
she's a
business.
support, and she's a very
I
like
mean, Steven is a
supporty
support.
support.
Rain Dog is a support. Morty is supposed to be kind of a support, and they all perform very well in
Well,
ones.
they're
It's
fake
just,
supports. I think Velma's like the
yeah.
truest support,
No,
to be honest.
I think Steven is a true support because he has like the proper healing aspects and platforms. I think that's like the biggest support that you can have in this game.
True.
As for it
And the
to be,
shield, he also has
yeah,
a instant shield that he can activate from anywhere.
yes, that is, and to be smart about that shield, using it in the air and knowing how that actually counts as a dodge for you, using it twice in the air, and losing your options for your teammate. That's all team awareness that you have to have
Wait,
as a
that's true.
teammate
He
using
when
support.
you
So
shield, you take your teammate's dodge. Is that what you said?
no, your dodges as Steven. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
say you're being tracked in the air and your teammates like at disadvantage or something. Like you're both being ISO'd and you're trying to help yourself and your teammate. Like, but you had to use a dodge at a certain time to get away from the person that's ISOing you and
Mm-hmm.
help your teammate. But now you lost all your dodges trying to save your teammate and now you die for it. Like that happens. So
Streamline. I saw you kind of chuckling over there. What are you thinking? Chat's
Um.
going a little crazy right now as well. If you want to address anything in there.
So right, here's the way I see about Velma. I agree with like a lot of what Steezah said. The the thing is, I think the Velma's stopped playing Velma, so we can't really say for sure. You can't really
but
say for sure what Velma's in because I haven't run into a Velma this patch. That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's what happens. They go
I
play
haven't run
Tom and
into them.
Jerry and Morty now because those are
Like,
just similar characters with stronger buttons now.
yeah, but like we're never gonna know how good Velma is if no one plays her. Like,
Yeah, give it time. I
I
mean, is
don't think
Koslik still playing her? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
I have no idea.
just
He could be
curious.
playing Stripe. He could be playing Velma. Those are the two I know of that he plays. But like, I want to see if some Velma comes out of the woodworks because like it feels like everyone's like I don't know. It feels like specifically Morty. Like everyone's just picking up Morty. Everyone's picking up Morty as a support,
FC's crown has fallen. Someone is trying to pick it up.
or literally like it's just like it's like oh okay, Velma ain't working anymore. I'm gonna just use the new broken thing, Morty.
Do you have
Like
any
Speaking
thoughts
of,
on the fintech that they're all talking about? Because I know I have thoughts on it, but
okay,
I'll let you
I don't
go.
think it should be
so
addressed because it shouldn't
this
be a thing.
thing,
But yeah,
right? I think here, let me be frank, right? Let me be frank, real quick. I'm only gonna do this screen share once because I don't know how it's set up right now.
I got you.
But
Should be fine.
right, I think that what do you call it?
Ooh.
I think that this version of it, right, is healthy. But the one where you're flying across the map at Mach 9, which I can't do, like oh, never mind, there you go. The one where you're flying across the map at Mach 9 like that is super unhealthy. I don't think that one should be a part of the game. But I think it's cool, right, that you can do the other one where you just like normally. It's actually hard to input chat. Oh my god, where you do that, right? Because that's not what it normally looks like. This is what it normally looks like. You feel me? But like if
Yeah.
you fast forward a little bit, right, it looks like that, which is different. That's cool. That's cool. Now, if you're flying across the map, I don't think so. I don't think that's fine at all.
Yeah,
Like
it should be limited
that
to
is not okay. That
set
is not okay.
distance. I agree.
Like you shouldn't be able to just hack the game immediately.
active hitbox from across the map.
I mean, you guys are saying it's not tech, but do any of y'all actually know how to do it? And can any of y'all do it? Cause I kind of doubt all of your abilities. I'm not gonna lie.
Like
So yeah,
that's not okay to me.
I think that's fair. We also gotta find though a fine balance of what tech do we keep in the game and what do we not. You know what is fair and what is not.
The
When
real
it comes to
question
that
is,
type
what
of
is
stuff.
tech?
True, that's a great
That's the
question. To
real
be honest.
question.
Right.
What defines
So
tech
to
in
me,
multiverses?
my definition of tech to me, right, even if something's a bug or considered a bug by the devs, I'll keep doing it until they take it out of the game and consider it tech. That's the way I see it.
So, by your definition, is tech is something that is unintentionally put into the game that can benefit you.
Or something that wasn't intended to be in the game, but they agree with.
Who
So
is
right, they
they?
didn't intentionally put it in, but it's not too broken, but it's cool, and it's not something that was normally intended.
The problem
Okay.
is everyone thinks stuff is cool when their character does it, but everyone hates on another character doing something, even if it is objectively cool, just because like people hate everyone's character. Everyone hates like if Finn does
Yeah.
anything, if Finn does something objectively cool, people will still say, "Oh, nerf Finn, remove Finn." Like
Well,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
but then you got to look at it objectively, right? Do you think this is cool? Do you think the one without going across the map is cool?
Yeah,
So it's not everybody. It's just some people,
most
right?
I
people.
mean,
Like that's like a opinion based thing. It's like right. You don't need to like it's up to them, but like at the end of the day, it's cool. And all be all, it's cool. Like that's just like a bias. Oh, they lost to Finn last night. Oh man, nerf Finn, cut Finn, guys. It's fine.
That's what
Finn's
most
like
people do.
Finn's
Sadly,
in one of the better states he's been in.
100%. I think Finn's in a totally fine state right now. I really don't think he's much of a problem at all. His
Like
hitboxes are still a little iffy, but like whose isn't, to be honest? Like what characters don't have
literally,
iffy hitboxes?
everyone has something now. Everyone has something at
Hmm.
this point. Like literally everybody.
Yeah. I think we gotta hammer home to the stop saying nerf this, nerf that, and learn the matchup.
Straight up.
Something that has to be said a lot because people love to just go get Twitter fingers, and as soon as they lose, say, "Oh, I lost because this character's broken," instead of saying, "Oh, I lost because I got outplayed. Maybe I should adapt and learn why I lost." It's,
no,
"Oh, I
right?
lost because this guy's carried, this character's broken." It's it's very frustrating
But
seeing
there's
all of
two
that.
things. There's two things. There's a difference between learning a matchup and assessing that something is not healthy for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Because there's plenty of unhealthy stuff. I
because
agree with you there.
you can understand a matchup and it can still be a bad matchup for you, but it doesn't mean that the hitbox or the move that you are necessarily complaining about is not unhealthy because you are still trying to find ways around it. And if you are a good player, it's not like you are losing to it 10 times out of 10. They're probably just close games or frustrating interactions that you deal with during that game that just make you like, I don't understand why this is a thing. And that's usually what it is, at least for me, because Morty Tech, like, I guess flying up on your UFO and getting like kind of up into the blast zone and they try to contest you. You pop your snakes on the side of the UFO as an edge guard and kill them. Like, that's tech, that's cool. But it's not like, that's not broken, you know? But like Finn flying across the map at Mach 9 is broken. Like,
Yeah,
and like,
I
you know,
even
there's a
forgot.
difference.
I forgot to
So,
mention this. That you can also do it like with Nair. You do it with
yeah,
other
you
moves as
can.
well.
You can
But
do it
like,
with Nair on
I'm
Jin. You can do it
honestly,
with Nair on Steven.
I'm
It's
honestly
a lot of characters
fine.
can.
I'm fine with some of them, right? Because like you can do it on a lot of characters, right? But like sometimes it can be an issue, like when there's like a overwhelmingly massive Nair.
Yeah,
That's where I draw the line. That's where I
yeah.
draw the
With
line.
Jake, we could talk. I feel like we could literally just talk about characters all day and
All
Oh,
this
day
type of
yeah.
long.
stuff. Another thing though,
But,
I do want to move on to is talking about Gotham Knights. The New York
yes.
tournament is back. Z Destruction 2.0, run by Austin Lavista, at the beautiful venue of OS New York. Definitely just phenomenal venue. But Austin got that back up and running, which was very very exciting. Glad to go back and see all the cool people in New York. And Key Wonder did take that home in a dominant fashion, like dominant.
Yep,
No
and
games
getting his
dropped
extra
from him.
$5 that Austin missed out on giving him last time.
True. Holding Austin. Austin will always eventually give back. He's not sweating stuff like that. I think Skizzy still owes him $15
Oh
for
yeah,
the
for that
Iron
IG
Giant
skin.
skin. So it was hyped to be back. And just like I said, I was every time I was commentating, I was just gushing over how good Key Wonder was. You know how technical, how well he spaced, how good his counterplay was, how good his reads were. Like,
Oh yes, and actually, this is one thing that I've noticed at every Gotham night. I think this was Key Wonder's first time since Wavy has shown up at Gotham Nights. He has taken him out of bracket. Last time I believe they were there, he got double eliminated by Wavy, and the
yes,
time
he
before
did.
that, he lost to him, I think, once. So I know that was definitely like a great win for Key Wonder mentally and in that bad matchup. And he also never won a Zeddy prior to that, so that was definitely a huge win for him and a huge win
Wow.
for Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's everywhere. So shouts out to Key for that one. But that
Yeah,
matchup is definitely something that he's been working on for a long time.
and dude, I could tell just commentating and watching, like it looked like he played the Finn matchup to perfection. Like I feel like I have the Finn matchup down, and he just played it. I feel like even better just because he was forced to since it's a bad matchup. Um, I would definitely say I think he is the best Wonder Woman, especially in ones and top five at minimum ones players right now. It's just insane watching him play, and you could just see the fundamentals. I personally spent a lot of time mentally preparing to try and take my first set off key, and I was not able to do it, and I got tilted in the process and ended up getting tilted off a cliff uh, into losing to Ova, which his Ova played incredible.
He got his
His
up air. That's what he needed,
Ooh.
man.
The amount of up air and up tilt kills I saw him get with Taz was like mind blowing. The last time we were in
That's
that
all he
venue,
needed.
he didn't have that, and holy, it showed. So
It changed
big
everything,
time.
man.
Yeah.
It actually changed. Taz killing off the top is shocking right now, which is crazy.
Shows how bad he was before that, though.
Bro, like, bro, Taz mid, bro. I always wanted to say that. Like, Taz mid. All right, as much as Taz was broken in other aspects, he was missing a basic, basic thing that every character in multiverses has, which was vertical kill power. There
Mm-hmm.
was none. You couldn't land. You couldn't
No
land
one's
any of the
getting
vertical killing
his.
moves. It's time. It's time.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Yeah, another thing too I want to talk about a bit was mentality. Something that I definitely like. I personally am working on almost constantly because that tournament in particular, I let myself get tilted through losing to Key Wonder, and then I continued that tilt into my losers and never mentally just kind of checked myself and got back to a normal level. So I think it's really important to at times, especially after a loss, check your mental and kind of take emotions out of it in a way, not just lose control of your mental and really think logically, like, why did I lose? It's not just, oh, this is broken, like I gotta figure out why
Correct.
I'm getting hit by it. The default and the easy option is fuck this, Wonder Woman's broken, her lasso keeps hitting me, like I can't touch Key, like what do I do? You got to figure out the reasoning behind it as opposed to, oh, just blaming the character, which is hard to do, but I personally am working towards it, and I really recommend everyone else to work towards it as well. That's a big step towards improving as a player, is doing that.
Agreed, dude. It's like actually crucial that you do that because if you're thinking about anything other than what the opponent's doing, you're throwing. At the end of the day, you're
You're
throwing.
throwing.
You're throwing. You know, if you're thinking about character balance while you're trying to win a set, forget about it. You might as well just forfeit. You're not winning.
It's
Actually,
me for real,
that's
bro.
that's facts.
It doesn't
Actually,
matter. It doesn't matter if you're the best player in the game. You'll end up losing. If you're not thinking about
Hmm.
anything other than what the opponent is doing in front of you. If you're
Yeah.
thinking like even if you're winning and you're not even mad, if you're thinking about the fact that your opponent right next to you is mauling, you could lose. You could lose.
because
You
you're
could
thinking
lose.
about the wrong things right now. You should be thinking about winning.
You
Like,
need to be
Hmm.
thinking
that's it.
about which way he's dodging, whether he's floating or he's mashing, or he's running away or he's running at you. All of it matters. All of it's important, and you need to be in the right mindset to eat that information. Otherwise, it's going to be worthless. Worthless. Because guess what? Let's say you figure something out later in the set, right? It's already game five. It's already over. The match is already over. You have no time to adapt. Why? Because you weren't paying attention. Because when it really
Hmm.
mattered and you needed to be locked in, you didn't pay attention. You need to be locked in, completely
Hmm.
locked in.
Agreed. Since Chad asked as well, I'll mainly let you take this streamline about Marvin, an honest Marvin take. I saw a bit of the Marvin from you for a while, but it seems like he's been gone for a bit. Um,
It just felt after like right. Marvin looked like a breath of fresh air at first to me, and then he just became boring because it just became button. All Marvin became to me is button, 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 button. Because if you're playing Marvin to win, like all the stuff is cool, right? Every once in a while you get a cool setup with the rocket and everything, but it's not going all the time. So it literally just becomes like right mashing one move, whether it's button, whether it's up air, whether it's up tilt. It's never like a variety of moves. Even Finn has an insane variety of moves. Finn has felt more fun than Marvin to me lately. Like like it's the way the character is built. So again, you know, everyone has fun in a different way, but for me, I don't like the fact that his combo game consists of button,
The
button,
same move.
button, 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 button,
Yeah.
button, button, button.
yeah, I think that's a great point to bring up because part of characters being healthy versus characters being unhealthy is characters having a well balanced kit where they can use every tool they have. And personally, I've even been having this issue with Rick where I get bored of Rick lately and I don't want to play him because it seems like I'm just mashing Sair and Jab if I want to win. And I can't do a lot of his other tools when, like, because they're just not, the options just aren't nearly as good. And I think a lot of the most unhealthy characters are just characters that only need to use some of their kits, like only a couple moves, and then they could just win. Whether it's
Yep.
Jake, whether it's Stripe,
Batman, Arya, Jake,
that
Stripe,
like.
Rick. There's a
So
few of them, man.
I think the main way to get characters back to being healthy is by making them have well-rounded kits where they can use every single move and it's not just them throwing for no reason. I really think you need to figure out a way to balance and bring up the weaker moves in characters' kits and nerf the stronger moves. I think that should be essential to balancing the game and balancing characters and also just making them way more fun to play. Like you talked about getting bored with Marvin because you're just relying on one move. I get bored with Rick because I'm just relying on one or two moves. I think a lot of people, yeah, like even Arya players, you've been seeing a lot less of them because it's just stale and the same playstyle over and over again. Like I've seen Key do a million different things with Arya and make her look really cool, but it's not optimal, so he doesn't play her. I think that's really, really important. Something we should work towards. I think Jake is a prime example of that as well. Jake and Stripe, I think, are the two biggest ones of really, really broken moves, and then just like half their kit is like barely useful.
Quite literally, man. It's sad to see. It's genuinely sad to see. Like there's not much you can do to change it. Not really much you could do because like it's just like design. It's the design of the character,
Yeah,
So that's what makes it hard to deal with. Like that's why it's like so difficult. Like you have to like literally rework the character to fix the issue, which is insane. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
which is tough because obviously there are bigger issues for them to deal with now, and that's not something that should be worked on right now. But I think that is definitely something that should be worked on in the future. Um, we have to have patience, which I think is key for the game and for the community. Patience is what is going to carry us through. People have to realize that this game is in beta, if you guys don't know, which means, because some people think it means nothing, some people think it just is a tag for fun, I guess. I don't know, but it means that the game is currently incomplete and not ready yet, and is still being worked on. When the game is ready down the line, then WB will come in with tournaments. They will put a lot of money into the game, and the game will flourish again. But currently, it is in a spot where they are trying to balance it. They are trying to fix bugs, and they are trying to improve the servers. So the game is not dead, nor will it die now because the game is not even released. A game that is not released cannot die, at least in my mind. I don't know if that made sense. If any of you guys have anything to add to
That
that.
made sense to me. That made perfect sense. In fact, that made literally perfect sense to me.
1000%.
I can't
Um,
disagree with that, even if I tried.
Last thing I wanted to cover also is the tournament that happened in Connecticut, as it always does. Ajax holding it down. A dub for Rain Dog, Retro Wolf coming home with it. First win in a while. And it was really cool because he mentioned that he was listening to a lot of me and Key practicing and talking, and how he needed to actively think more. And he said he was actively thinking through a lot of his sets, and because of that, he did not drop a single set with Raid Dog, who I think is one of the more balanced characters in the game, who is in a solid place, not overpowered, not underpowered, and I think is really unique. So I was happy to see him take it home, play incredibly well along the way. Um, Also, I believe he beat Chavo and Grands. Then Gomo came home with third place with the Gizzy. Big W for Gizmos across the world.
Across the
That shit was actually
world.
crazy to see.
And then the homie Daquan, can't forget about him, came in fourth place with the Rick. Love to see that. So, um, had to shout that out. Anything else you guys want to cover on this fourth episode of Multi Archives?
Before I forget this, right? I think Rain Dog is pretty balanced in a lot of aspects, but there are also some things that are a little crazy. One of the things I learned recently, which is really basic but kind of speaks volumes. Rain Dog's fireball does 25 damage if you get hit by it.
Wow.
Really?
Um,
Just
I
with the
have an
burn
issue
damage
with
and
that.
stuff?
Yeah, yeah, like altogether. I have
No
an
wonder
issue with
he's
that, right?
racking up crazy damage.
Because that's a zoner character, right? So is Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's safe does 6 damage.
Yeah, wow.
6 damage.
I don't like
So I
that.
don't
Yeah.
know if it's on purpose that they made it 25, but I think that's a little crazy. Also, I think up tilt on Rain Dog is a little bit of an issue. It's very good. I like that, but that needs some whiff as well as some other moves. Like,
And
because
down
you could do
tilts
like
hitbox.
circles of
Oh,
like you could
down
like
tilt's hitbox is a good one. That
yeah
thing is
as
massive.
well yeah like you could do a lot of like you could basically like bait people really easily, but like the thing is the reason it's a bait is because it's not punishable at all by any means ever, which is an issue to me. Like
Um,
that's my only issue with Rain Dog is like the infinite projectiles and the fact that the zoning does so much damage, so much damage. That's the only
Too
issue.
much damage.
I don't actually
Mm-hmm.
see it like too much craziness at all.
Like
If
that
anything,
tethering twos is insane.
yeah. If anything, like the way I see it, they need to actually one thing they need to fix is certain down airs being physically unable to kill this patch. Rain Dog is one of them. Fun fact. If the character is heavy enough, they'll reach a threshold where they can't kill with the move. So
Mm-hmm.
like there's that, but like other than that, like a lot of Rain Dog stuff is very strong, very strong, a little too strong. That's the way I see it right now with Rain Dog.
Agreed. So that also reminded me of something that I've talked with Q Under about, and I think they should really, really work towards changing is making characters as a whole, certain moves do way less damage. Certain moves just do an absurd amount of damage. So I think we should, as a whole, tone it down, and then games will last longer. But you could also make moves combo more, and you could add way more skill expression. Because if moves deal way less damage, but your moves are better and are able to combo better, it just allows for more fun as opposed to getting winning a couple interaction using a couple really strong moves, and then that's just it. So I think it'd be really important to tone down the amount of damage a lot of moves do, because some moves do a ridiculous amount. So tone down those as a whole, but then give the characters more skill expression through different combo routes. I think that would be a really, really good change and a really healthy change for ones and twos in this game.
Agreed.
For sure.
Fully agreed. Fully agreed with that.
Um, Last thing as well, I wanted to shout out tomorrow. The first New Jersey LAN is happening. Very excited for it. Should be ones and twos. I will be streaming it on this channel, and I'm also putting up $200 of my own money, and there's an extra $100 for the pop bonus. So $300 pop bonus for the
Yes,
first
sir.
Jersey LAN. It will be a monthly. It'll be happening every month if all things go well. So please, if you can come by, show your support. Play the game offline, man. This game is so fun offline. And you get to meet some of the coolest people. Like, the community is so sick. I've met so many awesome people through this game and through lands in particular. So please come experience that if you are able to. Make the hike out. I promise you it will be worth it. If not, hopefully next time. But it will be a monthly, so try and plan one to come out. Steezah, anything else you would like to add?
My own monthlies or try and make them weeklies in Massachusetts for all the Mass people that want to come out starts March 11th. So if you are around and down, pull up.
I will
Was it
be
going to be
100% down.
ones and
I'm there.
twos or either?
We're gonna go for just ones right now until we figure out how to get more people to get twos.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
That's
won't slack
awesome.
on the weeklies at all.
That is
Hmm.
awesome. Good to hear. Please support your locals. It helps keep this game alive until the game is ready. The game is just slowly building. We are in the rise of multiverses right now. So support your locals, so when the game is ready, we'll already have this foundation. It will be huge. Trust me, the payoff will be massive, massive. I promise you that. Steezah, thank you so much for coming through the
Of
podcast
course.
streamline. Thanks for joining me as always, and chat. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be posting the VOD ASAP if you missed anything. Check out my YouTube, and until next time, have a good one, guys. Peace out.
Love.